Good. Nice, Chad. Good. Flip that left hand. See how you hit that? You're supposed to knock it out of the way. Yeah, and then flip it anyway. I'm here, all right? See the flip? Okay. All right, but on that flip, I'm going to throw that hook. Hey! That boy. If you do like that, we go to look at Nice, nice, buddy. Go, hit him. Hit that a little bit, back a little bit.
And or train other fighters with boxing, MMA.
Usually I cross over to the MMA side, a little bit of kickboxing, anything on the stand-up side. If it's kicks or knees or elbows, cross over into that side a little bit.
But explain stand-up style. What would that involve?
It pretty much involves, as far as MMA, anything where you're not on the mat typically, you know, on your back on the mat or your knees on the mat. Your hands are up in your standing position. That we consider pretty much stand-up.
Right, right. There you go. Right. Go straight. Left. Right. There you go.
Do you enjoy training other fighters?
I do.
What would you say your style is for helping to train other fighters?
Well, I do have a set style, and you know, I can train guys better, you know, if they go with my style. You know, I can train them on the outside. I'm more of an inside fighter, kind of a brawler, sort of, with you know, but I use a lot of footwork, real sharp. I try to use sharp footwork and things.
What is a brawler?
A brawler is somebody who gets in there and they want to mix it up. You know, it's not like a real finesse fighter. Although if you brawl, you know, with some strategy, with a little style, where you're not just a sloppy brawler, but you know, like Mike Tyson was a brawler, but he was a brawler with he was a sharp brawler. You know, he was very accurate. You know, punches. You know, real sharp movements, things like that. You know, kind of like that. I kind of like brawling like that. If I could do it real sharp, powerful, quick. You know, forceful. You know, you get in there and get right up on the guy. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of like that.
That was good. You got to come forward with it, dude. You got to come forward. Not come forward against you. That's more than happy. I can do the season. Okay. You'll be alright. Doing that brings it out. Special leg. You want to have the image, it's not your knee come forward. It's them come forward to your knee. That's the whole purpose of it. It's pulling you into it. There you go. Good. Keep going. Relentless, man.
Well, you mentioned about wanting to become a professional fighter. What's the road to becoming a professional fighter?
Dedication, determination. I mean, it's like I said, it's not for everybody. Just training alone, putting yourself through those injuries or that punishment, it makes or breaks you.
It's a very lonely world, it seems.
It is. You got a lot of people out here. I mean, young kids that do it to. I mean, just kind of feed their ego. They come and train, and next thing you know, they're MMA fighters. But to become a professional fighter, you definitely have to put in your commitment. You have to be here. You can't just show up whenever you want. You gotta train. You gotta be dedicated. You gotta be humble. You gotta listen to your coaches, and you gotta make sure that's something that you want to do with the rest of your life. It's not an easy road. I mean, just there's professional fighters out there who are pros, and just because they're pros doesn't mean they're making a lot of money.
been fighting for 4 years. Have you fought at the amateur level? Have you had amateur bouts?
Not currently. I just have to, every time something happens. Like last year, I was going to go to the USMTA tournament in Davis, Oklahoma, and it's supposed to be July 9th, but I had a car accident April 25th of last year, and so it kind of took me out. Had bleeding on the brain, severe concussion. I got ejected out of the truck.
You got ejected out of the truck?
Yeah, it was on Martin Luther King and 15th Street.
And you had bleeding of the brain and swelling?
Yeah, severe concussion.
A severe concussion. Does this play? Does that accident play into where you're currently at in the sport?
You know, it does. When I originally, my original doctors, they really don't like the fact that I'm fighting. They prefer, as far as a medical standpoint, that I never fight again. But you know, throughout, I haven't really stayed committed to a lot of things. And the one thing I have always stayed committed to is this. And this is not something I plan on, giving up anytime soon.
Now, from a medical standpoint, there's a lot of research that's been recently unveiled about concussions, especially within professional football and collegiate football.
Yeah, that's a big
that
one.
multiple concussions can lead to early onset dementia. Does that play into your mind at all? That another concussion could come even easier than this first one, or that multiple concussions can possibly make it harder on you in life later on?
It does. But right now I'm young and naive, so I figured I'd rather live, a short period of my life than not live. You know what I mean? Just kind of live life by the moment type of thing. So even if I only make it to 40, as long as I'm living my life the way I want to until 40, the way I feel, then I'm doing pretty good.
So what about you personally? You were a professional fighter at one time?
Yeah, I got started, I needed this. There was nothing around here. I went from one guy to another who I'd hear about somebody who had, fought professionally or amateur years ago, and I'd go find him. I'd just start doing some homework, and I'd find this guy and say, hey, can you train me? And we started off training in parking lots of banks that were closed at night, and having sparring matches with just whoever they could bring in from these counties around here. Finally, I got to the point where I was like, I need to do more. I need to learn more. So I moved to Pensacola. I went over there to Roy Jones Jr.'s gym. This is years ago when he was over there on Spring Street.
Roy Jones Jr.?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and at the time he was like 5-time, 6-time world champion. He had never lost a fight yet. This is back in the day when he was. And we went to his gym. They said, yeah, man, we want you to fight out of this gym. I moved over there and started training there, and that's how I got started.
So how many amateur and professional fights do you have, ballpark? Did you have?
I ended up having 3 professional fights, and in my amateur fights, I only have 2 sanctioned amateur fights. We had a lot of gym fights and whatnot over there at Roy's gym. It was during a time when the place where they used to have, when I was over there training, they used to have fights regularly. A hurricane came through and knocked the building down, and I didn't get a lot of amateur bouts in, but we did have a lot of different, gym fights and things like that of that nature over there at the gym. So I got a lot of experience in that way. And he had pros over there. We had, other than Roy, we had at the gym training there. We had 5 other world champions, who were there training there while I was there. So it was really good training.
In your professional career, was it strictly boxing or was it mixed martial arts?
I had 2 professional boxing bouts, and then I ended up having 1 professional MMA fight.
What was your record?
Won both the boxing. I lost the MMA, but I just fought wrong. I didn't have any MMA sparring. I just wanted to see what it was all about. So a friend of mine flew me out to Utah, and I jumped in there, and I felt like an inside boxer and stuff. The guy kept grabbing me around the neck. So I had to learn some ground.
Yeah.
But I started having children, and I don't know. It was time to not put so much emphasis on myself and the training. I just couldn't justify putting in the time anymore to on myself. You know what I mean? It just wasn't.
Do you plan on ever fighting professionally or amateur again?
No.
Yeah.
No, I still want to train. I still want to, do things in the gym. I still have a drive to get better, but I don't have any drive to, get out there and do it in front of a bunch of people.
What? Top to right. Top to right. Come on. You got it. Get up over there. One after the other. One after the other. Look. Look. Again. Now punch block. 2. 1. Don't. 1, 2. Now do that right now.